Hey racers, John Racer Theater today, back for another Hot Wheels case unboxing, and today we've got the Hot Wheels 2025 G case. I feel like it was only last week we were opening the G or F case, and the G case is already here, and it's got some very nice cars in here, so I'm very excited to unbox this and see what new diecast we have in this case. So if you guys are new to this series, what I do is I'll take all of the new diecast from this case, unbox them, race them on the distance track to see which one can go the farthest, see which one is the fastest, and then even race the top cars in a 1v1. So if you guys are only interested in the races, you can go ahead and skip to this time frame on screen to see which one of these cars is actually the fastest. But if you guys want to see what cars are actually in this case, you can tune along right now. And if you guys are interested in buying any of these diecasts that I do not unbox, they will be up for sale over on my marketplace, JR3 Garage. Now, I've been talking about this marketplace in all of these videos, but it is a super awesome place for you to buy some diecast, get in contact with me, and also just get some diecast as soon as I unbox this case. I've been listing a lot of these diecasts for sale on there as soon as I finish up the video, and all of my members on the site get notified before everyone else to get the diecast at super cheap prices. Like I think I sold some F1 diecast for super cheap over there before the the F case was even posted. So some exciting stuff. If that's something that interests you, you can get $5 towards your first order in the link with my link in the description. And from there, just, yeah, I've been promoting the marketplace a lot, and it's been going pretty well. So I'm going to keep talking about that a lot this video, so hopefully it doesn't get too annoying. But make sure you guys join. Link in the description. There's a lot of benefits for you guys once you do. But we have the Porsche 911 Rallye as the super treasure hunt in this case, and then we have Birthday Burner as the regular treasure hunt in this case, as well as some beautiful diecasts I can already see in this case here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this case. All right, let's see what we got here from the top row. We got a Mazda MX-5 Miata, we got the Amaru GTC, and then a Chevy C10. That C10 is from the last case, so we'll go ahead and set that aside. But both of these cars are new. This looks like a recolor for the Legends Mazda Miata. It came out in like gray and green earlier this year, and now it has come out again in green and gray. It wasn't super fast, but maybe this casting is a little bit different. We'll go ahead and unbox that, and we have a new for 2025 fantasy casting from the Hot Wheels Let's Race series. We got the Amaru GTC, which means we've got some fun facts. The only thing more majestic than a hidden oasis surrounded by the best dunes in the world is to drive them in the all-new Amaru GTC. You won't run out of power to dominate the desert with this modern electric safari supercar. All right, so it looks like this is sort of a inspiration on the Dakar rally cars. If you guys don't know, Dakar is like a rally event where people race across the desert in super souped up cars. That is where the Porsche Super Treasure Hunt comes from later in this case, but this looks like a really nice casting. I love the wheels on the side of this. It's got a metal base, and something just tells me this wheel and base combination is going to be really fast. So big fan of this rally car. It looks quick, and I can't wait to unbox it on the track. That's what I love about unboxing these cases, is some of these cars may look just like pretty normal, but actually turned out to be super fast on the track, and I think that's what we're all here to see. We got a Jeep Gladiator, which was the main line for the Super Treasure Hunt in the last case. In the F case, we got a Batmobile, and then we got the BMW 2002. Both of these cars we've seen before. Going to go ahead and set those aside, list them up for sale, and then we've got this Batmobile, and I love the colors of this Batmobile. I've mentioned in case unboxings a lot in the past that I'm not really the biggest Batman guy. I think Hot Wheels releases a ton of Batmobiles. Obviously, it has an audience, but that audience isn't me. But when it comes to Batmobiles, the red accents on this black Batmobile look really good. So hopefully this thing's fast. As you can see, it's got a pretty wide front compared to the back, so should be pretty slowish on the track. That back, oh, dropped the car there. The back of the car should be a little bit loose going down the orange track, but there's only one way to find out. So let's go ahead and race it. All right, let's see what else we got here. We got a DMC DeLorean. This is a recolor from when it came out earlier in like a black and pink livery. Now we've got the teal and pink livery, giving some Miami Vice vibes here, and we've got the white wall wheels on this thing as well. I really like the look of this thing. Hot Wheels has been coming out with a couple of DeLoreans here and there the past couple cases. Also, these two cars, the Audi and the Blazer, we've both seen in previous cases. Those will go up for sale on the marketplace, but this DeLorean, I think, stands out amongst the other DeLoreans that Hot Wheels has released recently. Because of those white walled wheels, I think it looks super cool, and hey, it may be super fast as well. So let's go ahead and unbox that thing to find out. Very cool looking car. And then here we've got Snoopy, the Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR Liberty Walk, and the McLaren W1. We've seen Snoopy before. We've seen this Skyline before. The 2000 GTR Liberty Walk came out in purple, and I guess light blue as well, but Hot Wheels is really pushing on these JDM import tuned cars, and I really like the colors of this one. It's like an orange/bronze-ish stripe there on the dark blue paint, looking really good, and the tuned cars can either be really fast or really slow, so car to look out for there. But then we've got probably the car I was most excited to get in this case, the McLaren W1, a brand new hypercar from Hot Wheels. Take a look at that. It's got the McLaren orange. It just looks stunning. Big fan of the wheels that they chose on this car. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to be super quick on the track because it's got a pretty low splitter there on the front, but I mean, like, the back looks very McLaren, and this whole thing looks very McLaren. And since it is a new casting, let's go ahead and read about it. All right, get in line to be among the few who get to drive the McLaren W1 as the McLaren F1 and P1 successor. This generation of supercars is designed to push boundaries of speed and has a limited production. You know, that's really awesome, Hot Wheels. I would love to know how many W1s were actually created. And like they said, this is the successor to the P1. So the McLaren P1, probably one of the most infamous hypercars ever created. And now we've got the McLaren W1, which I am sure we will be seeing a lot more of here in the future. So super glad I got this in the collection, and I am super excited to see how fast it is on the track. But let's go ahead and continue with this case. We've got a 83 Chevy Silverado. We've got Birthday Burner. That is the regular treasure hunt, as you can see with that treasure hunt on the side. It's got Happy Birthday. It's like a red velvet cake with a bright orange engine. This thing is it's a bit of an eyesore. As you can see, it's got like the Hot Wheels cake logo on there. It doesn't have any text on the back or any special occasion or anything, but that's the regular treasure hunt. Happy to see. Didn't get one of those in the last case, so happy to see I have that now. We've got a Honda CB750 Cafe. So for the 5 of you guys watching this video who like bikes, here's that. Not gonna, I mean, I might as well unbox it and test it on the track, right? I mean, it would be unfair not to. We know how it's gonna perform, but might as well. And then we've got the 83 Chevy Silverado, which is looking very nice. If you guys are longtime viewers of this series and have been watching the last couple videos in the series, you'll know that the Chevy Silverado in the EV version is one of the fastest cars we've seen this year so far. This box of a car does not look like it will have similar speed, but you never know. The trucks have been surprising us on this series. As you can see, it's got like some really thin back wheels, and I notice you can see it in the bed of the pickup as well. I don't know if I've ever seen that before in a Hot Wheels casting, but I also am not a big Chevy pickup guy, so we got the 83 Silverado there. I love the blue, love the white walled wheels, and I like Hot Wheels is creating a lot more cars with those white walled wheels. Big fan there. All right, let's go ahead and continue. We've got 3 new cars for the case. We've got a 69 Mercury Cyclone, a 67 Shelby GT500, and a Datsun 240Z. All of these cars look amazing, and they're all new for the case, so let's look at them one by one. We got the 69 Mercury Cyclone, an old muscle car, but I love the red paint on this thing. It looks super shiny. It looks super clean with the white stripes. Excited to unbox that one. We got a 67 Shelby GT500. Now, this car actually has some history on the channel of being quick, so there is a chance it's got a little bit more weight than most of the other cars in its category, and it is a Mustang, and Mustangs typically are really fast on the Hot Wheels track. So really good looking car. Got a little bit of an orange stripe there, 67 on the side to indicate the year it was made, and it's part of the Mustang 60th anniversary series from Hot Wheels. So nice looking Mustang there. And then for all of my import fans, this Datsun 240Z is absolutely beautiful. Part of the art car series, so it has a letter on the top that spells out art cars if you collect all of them. This one is T, which I guess doesn't ruin the design like at all, because look at the pink cherry blossoms on the side of this thing. I mean, like, the wheels have pink accents on it with the light blue. This is a beautiful looking casting. Definitely one of my highlights from the case, and it's a 240Z Datsun. So this thing has a chance to either not go fast at all or literally set records on the track. So excited to unbox that and see how well it does. Let's go ahead and continue on with the case. We've got a Ford Model A Custom from 1931. We got the Hot Wheels Ultimate T-Rex Transporter, and then the 92 Ford Mustang. We've seen this Mustang before. We're going to set that aside, and honestly, we're barely halfway through the first layer, and we have almost double the amount of new die-cast as we do carryover die-cast, which is a great improvement from the last case. Let's go ahead and look at this fantasy car. This thing looks like a box almost. And it looks like it's a version of like a Hot Wheels transporter set that actually exists. As you can see, it's got like a fake third wheel there in the middle, and it looks like to me like those little holes in the side look like they would hold Hot Wheels if this thing was like much bigger. But if you guys have this in your collection and know anything about it, let me know. I love hearing comments from you guys who provide insight as to some diecast I have questions about in the comments afterwards in the videos. So if you guys know any fun facts about that, let me know. But take a look at this Ford Model A Custom 31. This thing looks gnarly. This is a weird casting for Hot Wheels to make. In my mind, I would think Matchbox would be a better brand to create old diecast like this, because that is where their market is. But take a look at the wheels on this thing. Not a lot of cars you see with these wheels on it, and with just like that old rustic sleeper design. This looks like it might be quick on the track. Talk about an ultimate sleeper car. So again, another good highlight. So many good cars in this case already. Got 2 Alpha Pursuits and a Gas Monkey Garage, both carryovers from the previous case. Go ahead and continue on. We got the Monster High Ghoul Mobile, which is also a recolor from when it came out earlier this year. This time it is in a black and a dark purple with the pink. I believe it came out in more of a pink in the couple cases ago. So tiny car, gonna definitely unbox that, see if it's quick. We got Salt Shaker, which was a very fast car from the last case, and a 71 Dodge Challenger, which was also a carryover from the last case, but was not as fast as Salt Shaker, not even close. Here we go. We got Small Block, Hodo, Roto, and Pixel Shaker. We've seen both of these fantasy cars in the last case, and then Small Block is actually a recolor from when it came out. I believe there was like only 1 or 2 cases ago we saw this thing come out in blue, and now it is back in the black Taxi. And I love Small Block. I believe when it first came out, the information on the back said it mimicked what you would usually see with like a block car or a Pinewood Derby car, if you guys ever did that. I think this looks super cool. I love the simplistic design, and hopefully it's faster than the other small blocks, because that casting has not shown a lot of speed on the track the last few times it's been raced. Go ahead and continue on. I got Custom 53 Cadillac Roger Dodger 2.0. We've seen these cars before, and then we've got Buns of Steel, which is a new car for this case. We got the fries on the hood or on the roof of the car, and then we got the hamburger on the back. Try not to get hungry challenge looking at this car. It's got some big wheels in the back there with the metal base, so could be quick. I don't think it has any moving parts or anything, but it's from the Hot Wheels Let's Race Netflix show, which I keep bringing up in these videos, and I keep talking about it like I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna be watching this series, so I want you guys to let me know if you guys watch it in the comments, because how on earth does a hamburger car show up logically in that show? I honestly am having more questions the more cars I unbox. But let's go ahead and finish up with the first layer here. We've got the Minecraft minecart being released again. This thing has released many times over the years, and it's got some black wheels. Let me see if I can actually find one of the older minecarts here in my collection to compare with how it's made, because I believe these are new wheels. So as you can see, we have an older minecart that was released versus the new one. The new one looks like it's actually a little bit darker on the sides than the older one, and the wheels are a little bit different as well. As you can see, there's no like holes in these wheels, and there are holes in these wheels. So I don't think it'll increase the speed of the minecart much. It's never been a fast casting anyways, but that's always something cool to see, that they're tweaking the castings and releasing them again. And with the Minecraft movie coming out, I guess that is pretty topical from Hot Wheels, so good stuff. Got the Dior 3, ugly looking fantasy car, but we've seen it before. And then we've got Quick Bite, which is the Fuego Fajitas car, El Segundo. That's a shout out from the Hot Wheels designers as to where these cars are designed, El Segundo, California. That's pretty cool, another fast foodie car. Yeah, nothing really else to say about this. Not the biggest fan of Hot Wheels fantasy cars, but well, sometimes they can be really quick, and that is what we've seen, because all of the winningest cars in the championship have been fantasy cars. So just something of note. Looking in here, I see the Porsche. I don't want to check and see if it's the Super Treasure Hunt yet, but gonna do some magic fingers. Please be a Super Treasure Hunt, and we'll get to it. So let's go ahead and start the second half of this case. Got a Shelby GT500, Jeep Gladiator, and Hodo Roto. We've seen all of these cars before from this case and the last one. We've got a 2002, an Audi Avant RS2, and a 92 Ford Mustang. We've seen all of those cars before. Keep going on. We got a Bentley Continental GT3, a Nissan Skyline GTR R33, and a Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR Liberty Walk. We've taken a look at that Liberty Walk already, but we've not taken a look at either of these cars. The Bentley Continental GT3. I am a big fan of Hot Wheels GT3 cars, and this design looks really clean as well. You've got the Union Jack flag on the top, as you do with most Bentley race cars, and I love the black and gold accents. Now, there are a couple cars that Hot Wheels has released with these same color palettes, like the black and like the bronze-ish, and all of them, I believe, have been super slow, and I would know that because I'm such a big fan of this. I want to keep them all in my collection, all the cars with this color, but if they're not super fast, then I don't really have a reason to, so I'm hoping that Bentley is fast, and that is also one of my biggest highlights in the case, because again, big fan of GT3 cars, and then I know this is going to be a highlight for so many people, the Nissan Skyline GTR R33. Take a look at this design. I mean, like, just a moment of silence for this thing. The white wheels, the colored tampos on the side. It's a beautiful looking JDM casting. This on top of the Datsun that just came out, man, JDM fans are eating good with this G case, let me tell you. Like, look at, there it is, another Datsun 240Z. Now, this one is going to be listed up for sale on the JR3 Marketplace. And again, if you're interested in buying this car from me, the members on the site get notified before anyone else when I list new cars on the site. So if that's something that entices you to join the marketplace, and I highly recommend it. Again, link in the description. We've got a Monster Dairy Delivery, which we've seen in the previous case, and then we got Crate Racer, which is new for this case, and it's one of those cars that has a feature where the engine in the middle will like shake and rattle as the car goes down the track. It's hard to see here, but you can see the little notches on the front wheels that when they spin will hit the engine on the inside of the car, causing it to rattle, as you can see with the special feature, the image there on the back. But that means this thing's gonna be slow. We'll unbox it anyways because it's new for the case and it's fair competition. But there's that, and then, oh, very unfortunate, no Super Treasure Hunt for us again. Come on, Hot Wheels, give us some luck here. We've seen Rapid Pulse, we've seen the custom Kia EV6 from the previous case. This was like the only good car from the last case. It's carried over here, and then we've got the Porsche 911 Rallye, and despite it not being a Super Treasure Hunt, it's still a really good looking car. I love the green, love the bronze wheels. Hopefully this casting is a little bit faster than when it came out earlier in white. So we're gonna go ahead and set that one aside, continue on with the case. We've got another McLaren W1, which means we're going to be selling it on the marketplace. Very exciting stuff. Love that casting. We've got a Big Air Bel Air and another Amaru GTC. I think I'm saying that right. I'm going to go ahead and set that one aside. And then the Big Air Bel Air. This is new for the case. And it looks like just a rally version of the Chevy Bel Air, which again, I'm a big fan of rally cars, and this thing does have the potential to go pretty quick because it feels kind of heavy. It's got bigger wheels, so gonna definitely unbox that, see how fast it goes on the track. We've seen all these cars before, the DR3, the Batmobile, and the Ford Model A Custom. I'm gonna be selling those, very cool stuff. Got a 68 Dodge Dart, which is not new to this case, small block, and the Hot Wheels Formula Solar. The Formula Solar is our current king of the streets, which means it is the fastest car in 1v1 matchups. So that car will be racing later this video. We've got the 75 Chevy Blazer Custom, Chevy C10, and another Rapid Pulse. Seen those cars before. I think we might be coming to an end of all the new cars in this case, but there were a lot of them. We got Pixel Shaker, Purple Passion, and Power Wheels Dune Racer. We've got Purple Passion, which is a recolor for this case. This time it is not full-on purple. It is now white with some pink, so you could call this Pink Passion if you really wanted to. And another car with the white-walled wheels. This has been the story of this case. A lot of these cars have had white-walled wheels, and hey, what can you say? A lot of these cars have been fantastic, so I guess Hot Wheels is doing something right. And then to finish off this case, we've got a custom 53 Cadillac, a Chevy El Camino, and a Morgan Super 3. This Chevy El Camino is new for the case, though. It is from the Fast and Furious franchise. I could not tell you what movie this was from. I have not watched Fast and Furious in a hot minute, but I'm a big fan of the very matte black paint. I'm sure this thing will look even better out of the package. And look at that. It's like it's just a little bit opened as well. Not glued very well to the card. But here you go. Going to set that aside. And I think that might be the last new car for the case. We've seen these cars before, the Morgan Super 3 and the Custom 53 Cadillac. And then to finish off this case, we've got Optimus Prime from the previous case, a Corvette Gas Monkey Garage, and a 71 Dodge Challenger. So that has been your 2025 G case. And honestly, I'm very happy with this. There were no new F1 cars, no Ferraris yet. We should be getting some new Ferraris here in the next couple of cases. I know that there's a Ferrari coming in the J case, which will be coming after the H case, which will be the next one after this G case. But still, I mean, take a look at all of these new castings here that are ready to race on the track. We got the McLaren, we've got the Datsun, we've got the Nissan, the Porsche, a bunch of beautiful cars, and then all of these cars here, like I've been mentioning all video, we're going to be going up for sale on my marketplace, which I cannot stress enough is growing, and it's a great place for you guys to connect with me and also buy some cheap diecasts. So go ahead, click that link in the description, get $5 off your first purchase, and yeah, very good stuff from this case. Rating it 1 out of 10, I'm definitely going to rate this case like an 8.5 out of 10, because it's not a 10 out of 10, obviously, because there is no super treasure hunt, but other than that, it came pretty close. We got a regular treasure hunt. We got, I mean, so many beautiful looking cars. Got the Porsche Rallye, definitely a highlight for me. We got the Nissan Skyline, definitely a highlight for me. We got the Bentley Continental, very cool stuff. Some more fantasy cars. The fantasy cars actually look pretty strong in this case as well. The Ford Model A, definitely a highlight for me. The Datsun 240Z in that blue, very excited to unbox that. This Mustang looks very good, and honestly the Mercury Cyclone as well. Not a very big retro muscle guy, but still really cool. And then how can we forget the McLaren W1, the highlight, the picture, the cover car of this case. And I'm very excited to unbox this on the track. So if you guys are new to this, I'm going to go ahead and try and see how fast I can open 10 of these cars. I set a new record last time I unboxed the case, so very exciting stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and unbox these cars, set them up on the distance track, and now it's time to see which one of these cars is the fastest. So let's get going. All right, let's see how fast I can unbox these 10 cars. I think I beat my record by almost 10 seconds last time. This is my current best time. Again, it's not like I know, I'm not timing myself in the moment. I time myself after the fact. But I'm gonna see how fast I can unbox these cars and lay them all out on a row. As you can see, we've got 10 cars. If you guys ever do this at home, I would love to hear how fast you guys can do it, because I feel like I'm pretty good at this. There's a reason I do this every video, and I also wanted to mention, before I unbox these cars, yes, I am sunburnt. My nose is very red. I will take any Rudolph jokes in the comments if that is what comes to your mind. But regardless of that, let's go ahead and unbox these 10 cars, see how fast I can do this, and try and beat my record. So, all right, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Come on now. Gonna keep setting them up in a row. I think that's where my speed came from last time. Oh, Datsun, come on now. Ooh, almost dropped the DeLorean. Mazda, Bentley, and birthday burner, the treasure hunt, and time. All right, that felt pretty quick. Some beautiful looking cars here. I mean, like, super happy to have these in my collection, but that felt pretty quick. But now it's time to see which one of these cars is actually the fastest and race them on the distance track. So let's get to it. All right, we have all of our cars unboxed and ready to race. We have 14 licensed castings, 11 fantasy castings, which means 25 castings overall, 26 if you want to count this bike. But other than that, a pretty good amount of cars for this case. Not the most we've seen, but not the fewest we've seen. And all of the licensed castings, I say, are pretty good licensed castings compared to the fantasy castings, which I think are mediocre at best. So let's go ahead and see which cars are the fastest on the distance track. As usual, we've got the Hot Wheels distance track going down into the arc, through the JLH Craft Speed Trap, around turn 2, and then on to sector 2 to the fat track to see how far they can extend their runs with multiple lanes on the track. So let's go ahead, start with our, well, I guess we can go ahead and start with his motorcycle. All right, motorcycle, let's see how you do. Hey, look at that. He managed to stay on the track. Not bad for the motorcycle. But all jokes aside, we'll start with the treasure hunt and then the license castings and then the fantasy castings to see which one of these cars is the fastest of the case. And then once we figure that out, we'll race the king of the street and the king of the case to see if we will have a new king for the championship. First up, we got Birthday Burner. See what this Birthday Burner is able to do. Faster on the corners, but not so fast on the straightaway. Gonna end off just behind 43 feet. We have 219 scale speed. Not bad at all. I've also been getting some questions for you guys in the comments about the scale speed, so let me clear this up for you. You guys are wondering what scale speed is and what this number actually means, and what this thing does from JLH Crafts, shout out JLH Crafts, is it will track the time the car takes to get from this point to this point, and then does some math to calculate if this car were to be going like at 1-to-1 scale speed, divides it to the scale speed of the car actually, and then calculates the speed that way. So this car, if it was going 1-to-1 through this scale, it would go 219 miles an hour. Again, it wasn't actually going 219 miles an hour, but it scales the speed up based on the size of the car. So there you go, the more you know. Next up, let's see what the McLaren W1 can do. Oh, this thing looks really quick around the arc, quick around turn 2. Look at the run around turn 3. He's going to extend his distance super well, ending off around 49 feet on the distance track, 225 scale speed, and your McLaren has gone so far. It is the new leader. Next up, we have the Nissan Skyline GTR R32. The R32 also seems pretty quick on the downhill. These cars look really fast. Can the R32 pass the McLaren? He can. Take a look at that. Passes him and now gets almost to 50 feet on the distance track as your new leader. I thought the McLaren would hold the lead pretty strong, but no. R32 makes it, and he has almost the exact same speed as the McLaren as well. What a run. Next up is the Porsche 911 Rallye. This Porsche seems a little bit quicker than its recolor, but it's not going to carry the speed super well on the straight, although he is going to end off on turn 3 around 44 feet, passing Birthday Burner, and again, 225 scale speed was really fast around the arc, but this Porsche was just not able to carry it in the speed in the straights. Next up is the tuned Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR Liberty Walk. Man, talk about a long name for this casting, but it doesn't look like it's going to be one of those super fast tuned cars like we've seen in the past, but it is going to make it to Sector 2, the fat track, which does mean it's carrying a decent amount of speed. 193 scale speed for the Nissan, and he ends off just around 40.5 feet. Next up is the Datsun 240Z, and I gotta be honest, I'm expecting a lot out of this thing. Let's see what it's able to do on the track. Oh, really fast around the arc, really fast around turn 2. Look at that, his wheels barely coming off the track. Look at this run from the Datsun, an incredible record-breaking run from the Datsun, 55 feet and more from the Datsun. 246 scale speed. Man, these cars are bringing the speed yet again, and it's the Datsun with the lead. And hey, that is a good enough run to contend with our king of the case. That was a really good run for the Datsun. For those of you guys who need a refresher, the king of the case will race at the end of all of these cars to see if he can hold his title, and now he's got to get over 55 feet if he wants to maintain his title with that Datsun with the brand new run. But I gotta say, if this Datsun becomes the king, we're gonna have a pretty good looking king, not gonna lie. Next up, we got the Ford Model A. Wow, a lot of these cars. Oh, look at that. He's gonna wreck around turn 2. I guess he just doesn't have a very low center of gravity in this thing. So let's try him one more time, see if he can actually complete turn 2. Take 2, but I don't know. I think this car might just be a little too... Wow, look at that. He doesn't even complete the arc this time. He goes flying. All right, Ford, focus. Make it around those turns. He makes it around the arc. Makes it around turn 2. There we go. It's a good run from the Ford. He's going to carry his speed super well. Take a look at that. Another really good run. He finishes just over 50 feet. 1,000 scale speed is not accurate for this Ford, but wow. These castings are so fast. Next up, we have the Hot Wheels MX-5 Miata. This is the Legends Tour car, and this thing does not look like it's carrying. Oh, it's gonna get off the track and crash into the fantasy cars. Man, the exit of turn 2 is causing people issues. Let's go ahead and fix that and try again. All right, I straightened out the exit of turn 2, so hopefully this Mazda can make it back around so he has no more issues. And take a look at that, straight out of turn 2, but not really carrying as much speed as we've seen from all of these fantasy, or not fantasy, license castings. 219 scale speed for the Mazda, ends off just around 41 feet. Next up, we have that light blue DMC DeLorean. The DeLorean also carrying a good amount of speed around the arc, stays planted around turn 2, goes around turn 3 and is not going to be able to maximize his run anymore. Around 46 feet, 219 scale speed for the DeLorean. Next up, we got the Bentley Continental GT3. The Bentley looks really fast on the downhill, but is unfortunately losing time in the corners because of that low splitter. But look at that. Despite losing a lot of speed in the corners, he's going to end off just around 43 feet where the birthday burner did. And 193 scale speed for a GT3 car is pretty quick. I expect we'll see this Bentley on the channel a lot more in the future. Next up, we have a 67 Mustang, which I believe is going to be pretty quick. See what this thing's able to do. Pretty speedy around turn 2. It's going to get all the way around turn 3 and finish off just in front of the DeLorean. 232 skill speeds, really quick for the Mustang, but isn't able to maximize his run on the straights. Finishes off around 46 feet. Next up, we have Big Air Bel Air. See what this big Chevy Bel Air is able to do. He flips over going into turn 2. Man, turn 2 is causing a lot of issues for these taller cars. Let's try it again. Take 2. The Bel Air manages to get around turn 2 this time and is going to extend his advantage all the way to the beginning of turn 3, around 42 feet, 1,200 scale speed, so not a very accurate time for the Bel Air, but take a look at that. Not bad distance at all. And also for those of you guys wondering, hey, why doesn't this track the speed very well every time? Well, it's a little bit different when cars have a little bit more like of a weird body. Like for this Bel Air, for example, you can see that there is a lot of gap between the front of the car and the wheels themselves. So the timing gets a little bit messed up when the car isn't more of like a box. But speaking of boxes, next up is the 83 Silverado. Wow, the Silverado carrying a lot more speed than I was anticipating for a casting of this caliber. It's going to end off just behind the Bel Air, behind 42 feet, 198 scale speed. Next up, we got that matte black El Camino from Fast and Furious. Not very quick, slow around all of these turns, and he's barely going to make it to Sector 2, but hey, this is really impressive stuff. All of these license castings have made it to Sector 2, so that is a run to be commended for sure. 198 scale speed. Next up, we got the Mercury Cyclone. This is our last license casting of the bunch, and he sounds really good ripping it around this track. Gonna finish just in front of the Bel Air, 213 scale speed. Now it's time to get into the fantasy cars. First up, we got the Batmobile. The Batmobile makes it around the arc. He's wiggling, losing some speed, but makes it to Sector 2 anyways. Finishes off right in front of that Miata, 188.88 scale speed. Next up, we got the Amaru GTC. Let's see if this thing's able to hold its speed well. It felt fast. Around turn 2, he's going to manage to keep it straight. Around turn 3, let's see what he can do. Extending his advantage, he's going to finish off in front of the McLaren W1, 49 feet on the distance track, and an inaccurate speed from the JLH Crafts scale speed trap, but not bad for the fantasy car. This is now the fastest fantasy car we've seen so far today. Next up, we got the Monster High Convertible. This thing has some decent speed under its wheels. Not bad at all. Makes it around turn 3. Finishes off behind the DeLorean. 1,000 scale speed. Not bad. Next up, we got the T-Rex fantasy car. This thing is a big boy. See what he's able to do around turn 2. Gets onto the fat track and is going to end off just in front of the Bel Air and the Cyclone. 225 scale speed. Next up, we have Small Block. See what this taxi's able to do around turn 2. Holds his speed well. He's going to finish off just around turn 3. 238 scale speed. That was really fast, but wasn't able to hold his speed on the straights. Next up, we have the hamburger car, Buns of Steel. This thing has a heavy metal base and big wheels in the back. Should be able to carry its speed well on the straights. Take a look at that. Finishes off right in front of the 67 Mustang. Not bad for Buns of Steel. Next up, we have Quick Bite. Quick Bite, slow-ish around the arc, slow-ish around turn 2. And look at that, another car that does make it onto Sector 2, but not very far. Gonna end off right behind that Liberty Walk Skyline, 193 scale speed. Next, we have the Minecart. See if this minecart's any faster than its older minecarts. It looks like it, but not really. Ends off on the fat track and finishes off just where Quick Bite did. Look at that, 193 skill speed for the minecart as well. Identical speeds from those fantasy cars. Next up, we have Crate Racer. You can just hear the engine rattling, and yeah, I guess we could have anticipated that. Crate Racer doesn't even make it around the arc, and I'm not going to rerun him again either. He's just slow. Shout out the garage. Go click the link in the description. And finally, we have Purple Passion. Purple Passion, slow around the arc, slow around turn 2. He's going to make it to sector 2 just barely. Around 39 feet, 188.88 skill speed from that fantasy car. And with that, all of the cars from the G case have been run. All right, we got the Datsun all the way up in the lead, contending for that crown. In second, we have the Ford. In third, we have the Skyline. And in fourth, we've got that new fantasy car looking really good and just barely beats the McLaren, who is currently fifth, which means he's not going to be competing for the King of the Streets, which is unfortunate for the McLaren. Beautiful looking car, made it super far in its first race, but all of these other cars performed really well. I'm surprised that not a lot of cars failed. We only had one car that failed to complete the track, and that was Crate Racer, who we anticipated wasn't even going to make it from as soon as we unboxed the case. And of course, we got the motorcycle who didn't make it either. But yeah, pretty good runs from all of these cars. But now it's time to see who is going to be the king, because it's time for the flip car to take on the track. All right, the flip car's got to get 55.5 feet on the distance track. If he want to hold his crown, he's got one shot, one opportunity to keep this crown. Can he do it? He sounds incredibly fast going around this track, gets around turn 3, and is going to try and extend his gap. Can he do it? Yes, he can. The flip car barely beats the Datsun, and wow, that was close. And 253 skill speed as well. Yeah, the flip car is still the most dominant car we've seen. The flip car is gonna stay king of the case for another day, but now it's time to find the king of the street. We have Formula Solar, who took the crown last time, and what we do here is we take the top 4 cars, which in this case is the Datsun, the Ford, the Nissan, and the Amiru GTP. I believe that's, I didn't butcher that, did I? The Amaru GTC, just a little bit butchered, but not bad. But we're gonna race these 4 cars in a head-to-head matchup on the 2-lane into the fat track, which is very exciting racing for sure. So let's go ahead and get the matchups and see who's the king of the streets is for the G case. Our first matchup is the Datsun versus the Nissan, and our second matchup is the Ford versus the fantasy car. Let's see who wins this matchup first. We have Amaru GTC on the outside, the Ford Model A on the inside. Let's see who takes it after race 1. Also, the first car to 2 consecutive wins. We'll move on to the next round, but I think you guys already knew that. Oh, look at that. It's going to be a wreck from the Ford. That is unbelievable stuff. The Amaru GTC is going to take the first win because the Ford can't stay on his wheels. The Amaru GTC now has the advantage on the inside. Can the Ford bring it back on the outside? I think he's got the speed to do it. Look at that, the Ford around the outside is going to sweep around the Amaru GTC, and now the Ford has the advantage as we go into a race 3. Can the Ford go around the inside without being wrecked? Let's find out. Look at that, he can with a clean battle. Amaru fights back on the straightaway, but he's not going to get there. It's going to be the Ford who moves on to the final matchup. Now we've got the 2 most beautiful JDM cars from the case battling it out. Our first seed, the Datsun on the inside. Our third seed, the Nissan on the outside. Let's see who takes the first race. Look at that, it's going to be the Nissan from the outside, but the Datsun fights back. He says, no, sir, I've got the speed to make the pass, and the Nissan's not even going to try and defend that. The Datsun takes the first win. Now they switch lanes. Can the Datsun make it happen on the outside? Look at that, a switchback, and it's going to be the Nissan taking the win this time. From the inside, beating out the Datsun as we go into a race 3. Now the Nissan with the advantage. Can he beat the Datsun? It looks like he can. The Datsun has the speed on the straight, but he's not going to get there this time. The Nissan's going to hold his position, defending him on the outside of that downhill, and now he's moving on to the final matchup against the Ford. That's very tragic. I was really hoping a car as beautiful as this Datsun would at least find a crown on the streets, but that is simply not the case. King of the Case was too fast, and now he's not fast enough for King of the Streets as well. So I'm sure this is not the last we will see of this Datsun. Distance Championship enjoyers will understand. But now to find the king of the G Case, we got the Ford on the inside, Nissan on the outside. Let's see what happens, race one. And it's going to be the Nissan shoving the Ford, but the Ford comes back and he's going to run right into the back of the Nissan. That is not how you want an overtake here for the King of the Street as the Nissan takes the first one. They switch lanes. Can the Nissan sweep the final round? The Ford hangs strong on his outside, and he's going to get in front of him this time. The Nissan has this really bad habit of staying to the inside and losing a lot of speed, and the Ford is going to take advantage of that as now he has the advantage going into race 3. These cars are battling hard. Can the Ford take it home? I don't know, that Nissan's really fast on the outside, and you can see it here. He races all the way to the start-finish line, the checkered flag, I mean, and now the Nissan has the advantage. He's hiding underneath the track there. Nissan on the inside now. Can he make it stick? Race 4, let's see what happens. Ford has some good speed, but he's going to wreck in front of the Nissan, or I guess behind the Nissan, and is not able to make the overtake stick. The Nissan is going to be your King of the Street for the G Case. But his battle is not done here. Now he wants to have the crown for King of the Streets as he goes up against Formula Solar, so he can sit on that shelf. Nissan starting on the inside, Formula Solar on the outside. Let's see what happens, race 1. Look at that, they're really close, but the Nissan's going to lose some speed going into turn 1, and it's going to be Formula Solar taking the first win. The Nissan's been really good on the outside, though. Can he make it stick and keep fighting for this position? Let's find out. Oh, it doesn't look like it. The Formula Solar is going to wreck right in front of the Nissan, and he is going to put his hopes to bed as Formula Solar manages to stay ahead, beating out the Nissan and holding on to your King of the Streets crown. Man, with the speed all of these cars showed from the G Case, I was confident that we would get a new car to sit on the King shelves, but that's just not going to be the case. Formula Solar holds on to King of the Street, and the Flip car holds on to King of the Case, but that is not the last we've seen of these top 3 cars, as they'll be taking on the Distance Championship very soon. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this case unboxing. Again, if you want to support me in what I do, check out the JR3 Garage link in the description where you guys can find some really nice cars for some good prices. And I have new stuff listing up on that website all the time, as well as some new stuff coming later this summer that you definitely don't want to miss out on. That's all I'll say for now, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and we've got the H Case coming up next, so subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Which car surprised you the most out of all of these cars speed-wise? Let me know down in the comments. I love hearing you guys comment on my videos, and yeah, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace!